Thus beginneth the video chronology for keeping records of Waltaurus Braconius. Charlie Brooke, and his wonderful legal endeavors in the Philippines and the U.S., dealing with an incredibly corrupt child support system that don't have no jurisdiction over kids in a foreign country, yet claims they do and exercises it as if they did. It ignores all of my filings. The case is currently being transferred to Charlevoix County from Ontonagon County, though it was in Keweenaw County, and that judge didn't want to hear the motion to vacate, and the judge in Ontonagon County refused to hear the motion to vacate, for lack of jurisdiction over children in a foreign country who aren't Americans and had never been to our country. They weren't conceived in this country, let alone this state, or it would be better said, weren't conceived in this state, let alone in America. So they absolutely got no jurisdiction, yet the mothers claim to consent to personal jurisdiction. The court claims they have the jurisdiction. The court does not care what the custody order in the Philippines says, which they don't really have a custody system there. They don't have a support system there that works like the stuff here. There's a whole bunch of conundrums, and is it conundrum? It's like the opposite of what should be happening that's happening, where the judge says one thing, but then says she doesn't have the authority to do something else. All sorts of fun stuff. Janice Burgess, super evil judge, super corrupt judge, dirty judge, dishonest judge. Lies about things when it's brought up regarding Title 40 federal incentive funding, and why the state will not acknowledge any support you pay unless it goes through the state, because that's how the state gets their federal money. It has to go through the state. Though it takes almost 2 months for the money to get to the Philippines where the kids are, their mother will not do anything else. She won't, she complains all the time. She complains, apparently, though I never hear it. I never get it. She did complain in the hearing that we had last week. And she wants the money now, but it's like, well, you could just talk to me like a human being, have a conversation, and then you could have the money as fast as it can get transferred there. But you want to use the child support process in America, then you can deal with how long it's going to take. So a lot of people could communicate, could talk about their problems, could solve all of their issues outside of court if they were simply willing to have a conversation and communicate. That she's not even there right now is another oddity. She is in another country working, and the court has decided to send the money to her mother, where the kids are currently staying. Though I have a court order in the Philippines granting me full custody of my biological son, the one that is mine of the two. Well, they both should have been mine, but only one of them was. Apparently the other one was a Canadian guy. Last I knew is currently hiding in China, according to his LinkedIn account, though he does not respond to any emails or phone calls or any direct messages or any attempts to contact this guy. I haven't figured out if he wants to be part of the younger son's life or not. Ideally, I would think you'd want to be part of your kids' lives, but I guess there's this minority of psychopaths out there in the world who don't. And, yeah. So, well, while the mother is not present, but as Philippine Family Code, which you have to research if you want to understand this wonderful stuff, and assert your rights as a father or mother or whatever it be over your child in the Philippines, if you're dealing with that matter in the Philippines. Both parents exercise joint parental authority at all times But if there is a disagreement, the father's decision prevails. See Philippine Family Code, Title 9, Article 211. That explains it right there. Now, there's no penalty if they don't respect your wishes as a father, sadly, and you would have to take them to court to enforce it. But if you have any issues with law enforcement, if they're trying to send cops after you and you go get your kid to spend time with your kid, as long as your kid is not over the age of 7 or younger than the age of 7. Younger than the age of 7, the kids have to stay with the mother. Unfortunately, unless you've proven that they're immoral or incompetent, you have to go to court to do all that. And that could take you years at the rate it's done. Unless they kidnap the kids. Now, if they kidnap the kids from you, you can file a writ of habeas corpus. And I would recommend you go directly to the appeals court and you don't waste any time with the lower courts. Because the appeals court has the jurisdiction in the Philippines to hear writs of habeas corpus. And then you can force them to present the kids, show up in court and present the kids in a very quick amount of time. I had a very good lawyer who helped me out doing that back in late 2018 going into 2019 when she kidnapped the kids. Wasted about a month of my time I could have spent with my son, the one that is biologically mine, and the one that's not biologically mine. But it did get done, and I did get a court order out of it so that I have custody of my kid whenever I'm in the country. Because my son is older than 7. He turned 7 years old 2 days after the court made the ruling. So, but if the mother, for some reason, is not present in the country, and you're not present in the country, then any of the surviving grandparents may exercise parental authority. I believe this could even be applied to, if you didn't like one of the grandparents and they weren't living together, you, as the father, could decide which one they live with. Though you would have to probably go to a court to get an order put in place to make the determination, or to make it enforceable, because they do whatever the hell they want over there. Most of them don't follow the law. I do like the idea of non-compliance. It is the only way you can deal with a corrupt government, is you have to not comply. But they don't comply in the worst of ways, in which they don't respect your rights. Or they're not complying because they're wanting to do whatever they want to do without any regard to anybody else. A lot of these characters in these other countries, because they've learned their terrible example, that they live by from their wonderful governments that do whatever they want and violate people's rights all the time. The example is really set from the top down. Don't go to countries that do that. Don't find people in countries that do that, because they probably practice that, though you won't know it until it's too late. You already got a family and they're already cheating on you, and then they're not following any of the rules. And they'll do whatever they want, lie, cheat, and steal. But if the mother's not there, and you're there, as a father, you're exercising parental authority, and you can take your kid away from the grandmother or grandfather, whomever it is who has the kid, doesn't have a legal right that supersedes your right. Unless they went out and got a court order, which can take them a few years to do, and you were properly served, and the court decided that you're a psychopath or something like that, you're an incompetent parent, and that would justify taking away your rights. Because your parental authority cannot be transferred, and it cannot be removed unless, by an act of law, which would require a court hearing and a determination by a court order. I believe that's Article 212, also under Title 9 of the Philippine Family Code. And regarding support, if you're obligated to take care of your kid under Title 8, Philippine Family Code, Article 204, then you have the option as the obligor to provide support either as a financial sum paid by the 5th of each month or whatever schedule you agree upon, or to provide support and maintenance by keeping the one you're obligated to support within your home and providing for them that way in your family household. It's a little complicated with separated parents, though after the age of 7, unless there's a court order to the contrary, the children in the Philippines have the option of which parent they want to spend their time with, which gets a little complicated sometimes when they're being manipulated and brainwashed by their selfish, greedy, degenerate, evil parent who has acquired them by all of the dirty means that they could, or simply ignoring the law, and then you can't be in the country the whole time, and then they have your kids the whole time because you can't get them out of the country without a court order and a passport and all that other wonderful stuff that good luck finding a lawyer willing to do that. Some are willing, if you pay them well, I guess. Well, they're not terribly expensive there. It's just they have other things they have to do, things that matter a lot more, and they're more interested in doing those cases because they make a lot more money off of them. Or it's more genuine. They're taking care of their people. And you, the foreigner, does not matter to them, typically. So, where's it going with this? Now, there's some point to this video. I'm just trying to put this out there, I guess. So, my ex is not in the Philippines at the moment. I'm going to exercise my parental authority when I get there. First of all, using the court order. That gives me full custody of my biological son whenever... Well, it doesn't even require that I be in the country. It just says in the Philippines. Meaning within the Philippines, I have full custodial rights of my son. As far as I can tell, at all times, and as the father, my decision supersedes the mother. So I can make a decision all I want. Doesn't mean she's going to follow it, or her mother's going to follow it, because they're obviously they're on their team together. Yeah, despite it not making any sense. Blood is thicker than water, as they say. Because well, blood is made of water. And without water, blood is dead. Blood is nothing. So, but as a legal father, because the legal husband at the time of the child's birth is the name they put on the birth certificate, I am the legal father of the younger son. It ain't mine. And I will be exercising my parental authority as the legal father. With the mother not in the country, she can't really disagree with any of that or exercise her joint parental authority. I'll be taking both my biological and non-biological son for the time that I am there. And I hopefully can set a better example for them to live by than what their mother and her mother sets. They kind of teach people to lie, cheat, steal, only care about your relatives and screw everybody else, which is not how you want to live your life. If you live in a country where about everybody screws everybody over, and it's almost the culture, if you ain't related to them, they'll screw you over. And even if you're related to them, sometimes they'll screw you over. They have a very bad culture, in a way, setting a very bad example for far too many people, and they all want to follow that bad example rather than rise above it and try to be better human beings for the good of everybody. It starts with the example their leadership sets and their officials and their local governments that all practice the same kind of behavior. The problem with the country stems from the culture of the people. There's a lot of good people, a lot of good Filipino people. But there's a lot of them that ain't. And they may all claim that they're Catholic, but I'd swear it's just in name only with how they behave and treat people. Though I think in my case, I may be a little jaded. My ex was very selfish, it turned out. And it might be like the bottom of the barrel in terms of moral behavior and conduct for most of their people. I think they're entitled to things and had a very bad example set for her growing up by, her great-grandmother, her mother, maybe her grandmother, not her great-grandmother. I don't know if she ever met her great-grandmother. But I digress. As a father, you have rights in the Philippines. You can't assert those rights. I recommend you find Philippine Family Code and read Titles 8 and 9 to understand your duties for support, to take care of your kids, the ways you can support your kids within their laws. Not that the courts in America give a crap. If you get a court order in the Philippines and you take it to the consulate or the embassy and have them authenticate it to verify this is a valid document, then it becomes a valid document you can use in America. I'll be doing that at the time that I am there with our compromise agreement and the court order from the Cebu City 20th Division Court of Appeals.